Where are all my friends? They are. I don't know why I said it like that. They are here with me watching on YouTube. Thank you for watching as always. This week is a really cool episode. I'm really hype on this. It is with the artist Harlym, and she's only 17 years old and has this crazy story where she's moved around the country a whole bunch. She's been in like every state, and her whole project is like independent but with her family. Like her sister records all of her videos. They're doing this docu-series together. They filmed these incredible music videos. Her father is an artist himself. Like everything about their family is just talented. And this was her first ever podcast. And it was such an honor to do it with her. It was so cool to just hear her story this early on in her journey. With that said, YouTuber Andrew reminding you to subscribe to the channel, to like the video, and to drop comments to let me know who else you want to hear from, what else you want to see on the show, all that good stuff. Again, it's a small goal right now, but I'm really just trying to hit that first 1,000 subscriber mark. I hope that I look back at this and I'm like, oh, so crazy. The last thing on the line of supporting independent artists is a friend of mine on Instagram sent something to me that I thought was really cool and I wanted to show you. It's Logan, and he made a tape label, a record label that puts out exclusive tapes. I don't know how the camera's set up, but it's so sick. It's these little guys, a little purple guy. But I just thought that was really cool. He's been listening to the podcast for a long time, and I think it's incredibly cool when anybody takes the time to actually do something, to make a physical product. So the fact that he took an idea and brought it that far and sent me a physical product is incredible. So anybody out there chasing it, doing the thing, massive props. Go check Logan's label out. It's called Utopia Records. That's just a homie plug. I'm just trying to support people doing cool things. So I hope you like this episode. Let's get into it. Here we are. Where Are All My Friends podcast back again. And I am honestly really, really hype on this. This week, we are talking to Harlym. And the story of how this happened is my favorite. I get this random DM from your sister, Abeni, and I I was like, it was one of those things where I think we both responded really quickly where we were like, "Oh wait, you're for real? You're for real?" Because I saw it and I was like, "Yo, this is sick." And she's like, "Oh, do I need to like email you anything more or anything?" It was just a DM, and I was like, "Nah, this is sick." And I just love that. I love that it really felt like you have this family element of all of you guys doing everything together. I look at your project, you're 17 years old and you have it so dialed. And I was just so curious. I was like, what is this family of like incredible creativity and doing all of this? So like all of it, like I'm just excited to hear your story. Like I feel like this is really just like the beginning for you.
Yeah,
So damn, thank you for joining and I'm so excited to hear it.
I'm really glad to be here. It feels great. I'm really glad to just like share my story and stuff.
Absolutely. And I'm your first podcast, right? You haven't done any other, or you've done interviews, but not an official podcast.
Definitely first podcast.
I am so honored. So again, shouts to your sister too for finding it. That I'm glad that I am on the radar of people. So yeah, where I like to start it is briefly for anybody who doesn't know who you are, just explaining who you are and what you do.
My name is Harlym Nazeer. I've been making music ever since I can remember, like since a little girl. I started writing music ever since I could write, probably. And yeah, my whole entire like family got me into making music when I was younger. Like I have a brother who's like a poet. He got me into like lyrics and stuff. I have my other brothers are rappers, and so I used to do songs with them when I was little. And my sister's like a film director, and she films my videos, which is really cool. And my dad is also like a poet. He used to be a poet slash like rapper, and he's like really into conspiracy theories, which is cool. And
Yeah, my
yeah,
guy.
yeah, I just grew up in a really cool family. Yeah, yeah, that's me.
Yeah, that's crazy. So what's that? It's a total of 4 siblings?
No, I
No.
have five brothers and five sisters.
Holy crap. That's insane.
Yeah, but not all of them live. A lot of them are older and have their own families and stuff now.
Yeah. But and then another thing that stood out to me that was interesting is it seems like in I mean, again, you're only 17 right now, but it seems like you've moved around the country quite a lot.
Yeah, yeah, definitely moved around a lot. Cause my dad, he always had this, like he never liked staying in one place for a long amount of time. Like, he liked the change of sceneries and stuff, and, like, I agree with that. I feel like, a lot of people think it's, like, a problem moving to different states and stuff a lot because you don't get that you don't get those long life friends and stuff like that, but I loved it. I love moving around, and, yeah, we've been to a lot of places like Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Louisiana. I was born in Tennessee, um, Virginia. Yeah, it was just a bunch of random places. But yeah, it was really cool. Like I went to at least 2 schools a year
That's
because
so nuts.
yeah.
What was that like? Did you become really good at making friends, or were you just like, it doesn't matter. Like, I'll be, I'll be at a different school.
I had no idea how I ever made friends because the thing with me is like I'm kind of shy when it comes to meeting people, like especially when I was in school and stuff. So it was never like I would go up and talk to people. It was always kind of like they would just come up to me, and that's how I would meet a lot of my friends. And so yeah, like making friends wasn't ever really a problem. But like in elementary school it was because like elementary school kids are kind of mean to be honest. Like, they're actually, like, really mean. I didn't really start, like, really making friends until, like, middle school, high school.
Yeah. And then are you still in school now?
I'm not actually. I'm not, yeah. I kinda do this thing where, it's kinda like homeschooling, but it's like I study the things that I want to learn about. So,
Nice.
like yeah, so, like, like in June, somewhere around that time, and it's still now, I was really into stuff like how the world was made, how people were made, and like Egyptian and Greek mythology and stuff like that. So like since I wasn't in school, I would learn about stuff like that, and yeah, I love it. I love learning about it. It's definitely a lot better than school.
Damn, yeah, that's cool. Like I kind of relate just in I ended up finishing school at 16. So I remember like kind of getting to that age where I knew that I wasn't trying to be a doctor and I was like, what are we doing here? But damn, so do any other memories stand out like moving around that much? Do any cities like do you remember being strongly influenced by any specific cities or like places that you lived?
Yes. Okay, so like I think the one that I always remember was when I lived in Florida.
Yeah.
We lived in, like, a trailer park, and it was my first time living in a trailer park, like, a trailer park area, and it was so fun. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, like, all the people there were so fun to hang around. They were, like I would just meet so many friends. I remember, like, this one time, I used to hang out with this older girl. She was probably, like, 1 or 2 years older than me,
Yeah.
and there was this little boy and he was like 12. I was like 9 and he was 12 and he was smoking a cigarette and the girl like really, like had a crush on him. So I was like, why didn't you go tell him? Because I guess like I was young and I didn't really understand like yeah, that
Yeah.
stuff. So I went up to him for her and I was like, hey, she has a crush on you. And she literally chased me around the whole entire trailer park for like 10 minutes and then almost fought me. It was really dramatic. But
That's
yeah,
amazing. Also, just like that picture of painting like a 12-year-old smoking a cigarette, running around Florida. Like I'm from Florida too, and I'm like, I feel it. Yeah, yeah, that sounds about
they're
right.
bad. They were bad children. But I mean, it wasn't their fault, like it was a trailer park
Yeah, it was
and
just
a lot
kind of like circumstance.
yeah, yeah, that type of stuff. Baltimore too is another place that was really cool to live there. I lived on a lot of places in Baltimore, like Fayette Street and like Pratt Street and stuff,
Oh,
which I
you were
guess is
in it.
yeah, which is kind of known as like the hood. But I
Yeah.
never really thought as that. I just was like, oh, okay. Like, this is where we live now. It was cool, and, yeah, I loved it. I loved living there. I used to go to the corner stores all the time, get those little Philadelphia ice things. I would go there every single day just to get a Mingo Philadelphia ice, and it was
Yes.
those people at the store loved me. They always used to, like, see me and
It's
stuff.
funny. I think like I always think about this actually, like being a kid, you don't really think about your circumstance or like growing up in certain areas or anything like that. Like it's just normal to you. Like you don't know anything else. So you tell people later and like, oh, that's a sketchy area. You're like, I don't know, I guess. Like I remember the corner store and I remember my friends.
Yeah, it's funny. Another thing about living on Fayette Street is the place where we lived was like there was a street, right? And you could
Hmm.
either turn left, right, or go straight, but they didn't have like a red light, like the stop, whatever lights. And there would be so many car accidents. Like there would be at least one car accident a week because of that. Like a lot of crazy stuff happened there, but that's a whole
That
other
that's
story.
crazy. So like you just got used to growing up in hectic situations and areas. You're just like, yeah, cool, whatever.
Yeah, like to me, they weren't ever really hectic though. They were just kind of like I kind of liked it. Like it was like living in a TV show or something. Like I didn't live in one of those boring suburban neighborhoods, like where nothing. I have lived in suburban neighborhoods before, and I've
Yeah.
always looked like, oh, this is kind of boring. Like
Yeah.
nothing ever happens. Like
No,
someone,
I feel that. And I
yeah.
think also, I mean, tell me, I don't want to tell your story, but I think for me, growing up like where I did in that like Tampa, Clearwater area, it was a ton of different cultures. And like I met so many different people from so many different circumstances, everything. And then I ended up traveling at a pretty young age too. And I'm so thankful. Like I love that I met so many people and I love that I saw so many different types of life early because I think it gave me a better understanding to just like view people as people. And I
Yeah,
wonder,
totally.
like, do you feel a similar way?
Yeah, of course. Like it's like I can speak to any type of person because I'm not gonna like judge them or feel uncomfortable with speaking to them. It's because like I did grow up in different areas with different types of people, so it's like it's just normal.
Yeah, that's so sick. I feel like that's like you
Man,
wouldn't think it at the time, but it ends up being such a great advantage and edge up in life to just like not be phased by any environment or just be like, yeah, cool.
yeah, yeah,
That's
totally.
awesome. And throughout all that, like, because I feel like I listen to your music now and it has so much soul and emotion. And it's like,
Yeah.
it feels like somebody a lot older than 17 wrote it. So I wonder like how are you finding music? Like obviously you had a super creative family, but as you're
Mhm.
growing up, as you're moving, like what kind of music are you listening to? Like are you recording? Are you performing? Like what's that look like?
Okay, so what you said? What type of music do I listen to?
Yeah,
Like,
like
or
as you were growing up, like what influenced you?
okay, so what really influenced me was my dad. Really, like when I was younger, he wouldn't like not allow us to listen to rap music, but not like like radio music because it was kind of ignorant, but like we could still listen to it, just not that much. So what he would
Yeah.
do was he would always show us these like indie songs and these like really alternative songs. He actually even put me on to Nirvana, which is funny.
Damn.
Yeah, he would because when we lived in Baltimore, we lived in the copycat building, so we used to hang around like a bunch of like hippies, like the true hippies, not just like
Whoa.
the one. So like yeah, he just listened to a lot of different types of music and he would always show them to me and my brother, and then not only would he do that, he would tell the meaning behind the music. So like he would tell like yeah, the meaning behind the song and the lyrics and stuff. And we were like 5 years old, just listening to all these songs, like knowing the meanings behind them and everything. And I think that really impacted me because now when I write music, it's like I don't just write it. I don't just write anything. I actually try to put a meaning into the lyrics that I'm writing. I'm just able to listen to a lot of different types of music. Like I love every type of music besides like country. No hate to country, but like
I'm the same way. No hate, but I just don't find
yeah,
myself listening to it.
yeah. But
That's
yeah, I
crazy though. Such an early age. And like shouts to him for like showing you every different type of genre and just being like, yo, cool. Like here's what it is, here's what it means. Like educate like actually educating you.
yeah, on music. And I think it's so important. Like I feel like every parent should do that with their child. Like just educate them on music because I don't think people really understand sometimes how important music is and it like
Mhm.
can impact like children and people's lives. Like it had definitely impacted mine. Like I listen to music all the time whenever I'm feeling any type of like emotion.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I can speak to that. Like my family wasn't very musical and I can't play like at all. Like I guess to their credit, they got me a guitar. Like they're like, "Yeah, if you're interested." But I never really like was good at it. And I've always loved music, like obviously the podcast and everything I've done in music, but I've always been more on the industry side because I've thought it was incredible,
Yeah.
but I didn't have that musical talent and I didn't have that direction early on. So I'm always like so hype when I hear artist stories and they're like, yeah, my parents were supportive and they showed me and all that. I'm like, yes. So
Yeah.
that's again so sick that you have the family you have. So you moved around a ton, learned music at a super early age. Were you playing any instruments or were you mostly like, did you already like, were you like, yo, I want to be singer-songwriter or how'd
Okay,
that
see,
go?
that's the thing, like, I've always wanted to learn how to play instruments, but it's like I never gotten to that point yet. It was
Okay.
always just mainly, like, songwriting and singing for me.
Yeah,
Like, if I used to just use my voice. I still do, I use my voice as an instrument, and
absolutely.
but I still wanna learn to play instruments, like, don't get me wrong. I wanna learn how to play, like, guitar, piano, drums.
Yeah.
Like, I kinda wanna learn how to play every instrument just because,
Yeah.
like, I feel like I should. Yeah, I'm gonna learn eventually,
No,
eventually.
that's awesome. I agree with you. I think like if you love something, the more you understand it and the more you can do in it, like obviously the better you'll become. But I also kind of love that you're so honest about just like, yeah, like I use my voice as my instrument because I think maybe there's somebody else out there that's at a similar age as you that wants to do it, but feels like maybe they can't because they don't know an instrument. And it's like, no, 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 it's proof. Like you can do it if you're just a singer-songwriter. What inspires you lately right now? Like again, like your music has so much like soul and character in it. I'm like, where does this come from? Who are you working with?
Okay, so the people I'm listening to now, it's like a bunch of different stuff. It really depends on what emotion I'm in. So, like, Grimes, I love Grimes. She
Yo.
Grimes, and, sometimes I'll listen to rap music if I'm in, like, a 808 type of mood,
Yeah.
and I listen to, like, Lil Peep. I don't know if you know who he is.
Yeah, yeah.
I like his music. He puts a lot of emotion in his music too. Um, and so, like, I don't really listen to specific artists, like I just kind of listen to just songs. So I
Yeah.
have like, a whole playlist full of over like 200 songs, maybe. Like MGMT also. I love MGMT.
Yeah. Damn, you have cool influences. It's making sense now. I'm like, all right.
I come up with my songs by, I don't know, literally just living, honestly, and going through different stuff in my life because everybody got that their little stuff that they go through. I kind
Yeah,
of just use that as like something to write my lyrics off of. And what emotions? Definitely emotions. Emotion, like there's a lot of emotion in my music, I think, and
absolutely.
the like things going on in the world too. Like not just me, but just like things just going on for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. And then again, I think this is so cool and it's such a nod to your sister, but like the visuals that you've been able to do this early in the project, like it's such a no like I see it from afar and I'm like, I am so excited to watch you blow up because it's already like coming together so well and it's so well executed. But like obviously you have a super supportive family. Everybody is like working together. But what's that look like when you and your sister collaborate? Like, is it just like, well, I'll leave it there. What's that look like?
It's fun. It's like it's really fun because so we get like since quarantine's been happening and stuff, like a lot of the music videos we shot, we had to get like creative with it because we can't, especially like early on in the quarantine, we
Yeah.
couldn't go anywhere. It's work, but at the same time, it's not because of how fun it is. Like this one video we made, I don't know if you saw it. It was like this bloody one. It was like I had like knives in my hand. It was like we had fake blood, and we literally just wrapped the whole entire like half the house in what was it, saran wrap? Plastic. Yeah, it was like plastic all around the house, and we just poured blood everywhere on my clothes, and the video turned out so cool, like because she's just really good at getting shots. Like it didn't look like a house at all. It looked like
Yeah.
a plastic balloon pooped around
Damn.
the body. Yeah,
That's
so
another
like
thing that I love is like breaking that, I don't know, like that false idea that you have to have some crazy production to make a cool video. You're like, yeah, we literally just did this in the house with a bunch of plastic and fake blood.
yeah, and even the battle video, we did that
Hmm.
right outside the house. We did that in the house too, and it still looks really cool.
That's
Um,
so sick.
yeah, and sometimes we'll even like she'll book like these places, like in LA they have like rooms, different types of rooms and stuff.
Yeah.
Go and book, and we do that too. And we do videos in there too, and we also take pictures and a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, it's just cool. Like I think content is so important now. Like as you grow as an artist, like people always love to see something visual with whatever you're putting out. And I feel like you have such an incredible advantage where like I mean pretty much every song you can drop a video with if you want, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
That's so sick.
Try to do videos. Well, she tries to do videos for all the songs. Like literally,
Yeah.
she's like, "Okay, you're done with this one. You want to? It's time to do a video."
No, it's so cool. Like I promise that'll just keep popping off and like paying off. And it feels like it already. Like it really feels like as I look at I don't know, like it's hard to say. Like I want to say like you early in your career, but then it's like, are you like kind of you've been doing this forever? I feel like you're starting to get on the radar of people now, and it's like the beginning of like another level, but it
Yeah,
just feels like you really like together what you guys are visually presenting is so dialed, and it's so cool to hear that that's not like some label or some crazy thing behind it. It's just like, yeah, this is me and my family, like we're just doing it, me and my sis. I love that.
it's like years and years of just. She's been doing this for years. Like, how old were you? 16 or 15 when she started film directing. So she's been doing it for years.
And you were at my shoot.
Yeah, and I was there. I was always at her video shoots. Like growing up, like I would always go to them, and they were always so fun. Even though like there's a lot of stuff involved in them, so for the most part, but it was still really fun.
Yeah, no, that's like that's so cool. Did you guys always have a good relationship? Like were you close like all throughout growing up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. Especially since we're like not the only two sisters, because like on our dads, it's really hard. Our family's really hard to. It's really confusing. But like on my dad's side, we're like the only two girls basically, but we're not. We used to have more sisters, but yeah, we're just like we're the only two girls. I'd say we're definitely our dad's favorite. He has five
Ah.
boys.
That's funny. No, I really, really love that. Like it's so cool to me to see like such a collaborative, like family creative vibe. Like there's such a story there and it's so genuine. And then another thing that stood out was even past the music videos, it seems like just recently you put up like a teaser for like the what was it? It was like it's dropping in January 21, but like kind of just like the behind the scenes of like your life.
Yeah, yeah. It's like a it's my new. It's like a show. It's like a
Yeah,
docu
tell
series.
me about this. This looks so cool. I watched the YouTube trailer and I was like, "Yo, I'm in."
Okay, so like it is definitely a little hard for me to film it because it has a lot to do with my music, but also not just that. Like, I've been going through a lot of like mental issues as well, which I think like a lot of artists and a lot of people go through,
Yeah,
but sometimes I feel like they may not show it that much.
yeah,
So I kind of wanted to make this just to show like not just my music part, but what I'm going through as well while I'm doing the music and while I'm making like these albums and mixtapes and songs and stuff and doing all these videos. And I don't know, I think it's coming along really good. My sister's directing it, of course,
yeah,
and I'm filming it. And we're basically just recording everything. Everything that's going on is in this this show, like this
yeah,
docu. And I think people are gonna really love it because, we really kind of don't have like I guess the normal family. So like
yeah.
like so yeah, I think people are really gonna love it. They're gonna get like an insight of how we work and type of stuff that we do.
Yeah, like that's I really felt that. Like anybody listening, like go watch the preview, go watch it. I'll link to it in the description. But it felt like I love, like you said that about like mental health and like kind of just like your own personal journey. It's like you're on the phone with your therapist in it and you're talking about real things. And even I think it was that one where there's a clip of you being like, yeah, one of the harder things is for me to like talk to people outside of like my lyrics and all that. And you're being so honest about that.
There's a lot of honesty on this side.
Yeah. And it's like I think it's special to me for a couple different reasons. It's like you're being so honest about it, but then it's also being filmed and captured by your sister who has a view of you. Like it's not just some random person that's hired. Like it's somebody who knows you and it's somebody who's close, who you're comfortable with. So it feels again that much more honest. And then on the other side, where it's not like the sad or like the more real part of like mental health and going through that journey, there's also bits where it's just like you with your family having fun and
That's
like it just
yeah.
it feels so authentic and real. I feel like I haven't felt something. I haven't watched like a documentary docu-series that's felt that authentic in a minute. And it was just like I saw it and I was like, this is cool. I like that really stood out to me is like not only do I feel like you have this incredible voice and emotion in your music, but you have this incredibly creative family around you. And I think that people love to hear stories. Like, I feel like people love to watch artists succeed that have a story. And at least to me, I was like, this is unique. Like, I haven't seen this before. Um, and yeah, like, I mean, how recently transitioning in that, how long have you been in LA?
I've been here since last December.
So about a
So yeah,
year.
about a year. Yeah.
How has that been? Like out of all of the places, like it seems like everywhere that you lived before was East Coast. So
Yeah.
now you're a totally different area.
I love it. It's
Yeah.
great. I swear, like I've never lived in a place like I lived before. There's just so many different types of people, and I don't know how to explain it. It's like there's just a whole different vibe here that
Yeah.
you just don't get out in the East Coast. Like I
Yes.
don't mean to make it sound like the East Coast is just bad. I love it. I love it there, but it's just warm here. The sun's always out. It's beautiful. Like the people here just even have like this type of vibe to them, and it's really cool. Like especially like downtown LA. Sometimes I go down there just to be there, like just to literally sit around and just look at it. Because
Yeah.
I have like I guess I grew up in the city a lot, so just being down there, it does kind of remind me of that city vibe. And it's
Yeah.
like I remember this one time I was down there, and this guy had like the coolest truck, and he had like long hair. He looked like a surfer dude, one of those dudes.
Yeah.
And I was just looking at his car. I didn't even say anything to him, and he just looks at me and he's just like,
Yeah.
"What?" But it was just so cool to me. But yeah, I love it here. It's great. It's amazing.
That's
I
awesome. So like with LA, I think what's interesting is there's a lot of resource and there's a lot of like
oh,
other creatives out here. So, do you find that like it's interesting for me because I think that it can be like a double-edged sword sometimes. Like sometimes you see so many people doing it at the best level and you're like, "Damn, I'll never get there." But then other times you're like, "Everyone I know is doing cool stuff and there's so many more creatives and so many more people I can work with." So like, what's that been like for you?
um, it's I don't know. It's been really good. Like I don't, because I really don't work with other people outside of my family a lot.
Yeah.
At the same time, like I don't know, it's definitely easier to work with other creators and other people who do stuff because they're already in LA, and it's like you said, there are a lot of creators here. So it's just convenient, for if, you know, yeah, I don't know, if I want
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
collab with someone who stays down here or whatever, shoot a video with someone, I don't know.
'Cause I was gonna
Yeah.
ask that, like, what for your future goals, like, as you continue to grow with the project, like, what are some of your goals? Like, do you have dream artists that you'd like to collab with? Like, obviously, we can't tour right now, but, like, if you were to make a dream board or like a I don't know, like, just, like, if you were to lay it out, like, some of the things that you're chasing right now, like, what are some things that you'd like to accomplish as you grow?
I think big. I always think really big. So I want to make a song with Grimes, of course. Even though she's older
Yes.
and she has a baby and she's like Elon Musk, I would just really love to make a song with her, and Little Uzi Vert definitely would love to make a song with him. Um, who else? MGMT, even though they're kind of on the older side as well, I
Yeah.
still, I don't know, I would definitely love to make a song with them. And there's this one dude named Young Goth. It's like
Yeah.
one of
Yeah.
little Young Goth is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like one of Little Peep's friends. I would love to make a song with him too, because he just makes really cool music. And hmm, who else?
I mean, I
I
feel
don't
like that.
people. Yeah,
And then
like
like as far as you, it seems like you stay working. Like obviously you'll keep up the docu-series. Like is that how like I would imagine you'll keep that going for a minute, yeah?
well, right now my sister, she's only talking about doing one season. I
Okay.
guess we're gonna see how this goes, like how the first season goes,
Yep.
and then we're most likely. I'm thinking we're most
Uh,
likely gonna make a second one because I feel like people are gonna want it. Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, well, that's like what's so exciting is it feels like your YouTube channel is relatively new. Like you have some music videos that have put up numbers, but like for content that good, it feels new. It feels like I'm like discovering like a vlog that like nobody else found yet, and I'm like, y'all don't know how good it
yeah.
is. So that's cool. And then I don't know, like I guess I was curious of like you're working on that, you're putting music videos out constantly. um, I would imagine you have a bunch of music in the pipeline. Like, what's it look like? Like, what's next? Because I feel like this is just the beginning.
Okay, so up next, definitely the docu-series. Talk about that,
Yep.
and I'm making a bunch of songs now. I have my producer Nomad. He came down like months. I forgot how long it was ago, but all the beats are really cool. I love them. I picked out all the beats individually, and I'm recording myself. Trying to do that. Yeah, I don't know. It's really cool.
No,
I
that's
like
awesome. That's like that's such a
productive.
good place to be with everything. And I feel like again, I'm excited to watch you continue to grow and do it because it's like if you've gone this far, just independent, like I can only imagine. Do you like what's your thoughts? Like, what's your stance on labels right now? Like, are you feeling good about just doing your own thing, or like in a perfect world, would you sign? That I know that's kind of like a mixed opinion right now.
So like I don't have anything against labels, but the thing about them, I do feel like sometimes they do try to mm, would trick be the word? Like trick you into signing things that, like I don't really know how to explain it, but I would much rather just work with my family throughout the whole process.
Mm,
Like, if we do end up, like, if a label wants to sign me and everything's good with that, and they're not just trying to like do it on like literally only for the money. Like if they had like a genuine interest in my music and
yeah,
if they like, dress how I want, do what I want, um, say what I want, like I'm
yeah,
really like I'm the type of person where like if I'm doing this whole singing thing, I have to be doing it for myself, like and for I mean of course like supporters as well and other people as well. But I want to be able to be myself. I don't want to be like having to be forced to wear all these weird clothes and stuff like that. So yeah, if we're able to find a label that will let me be myself, no problem with that.
yeah,
But I would definitely much rather work with my family just because it's just more comfortable that way. It's more
yeah.
fun that way too.
No, I love that. I think I'm so interested in that because I've had tons of label and industry people on the show, and then I've had plenty artists that are signed or unsigned. And I've
Yeah,
kind of experienced both as well. You know, like I've worked at record labels, I've worked with independent artists, and it's such an interesting time right now because I definitely believe there are great labels to work with that give artists
yeah,
total creative freedom and do nothing but give them opportunities. But then I also am so excited and encouraging of independent artists that have it all dialed. It's like, I feel like,
yeah.
again, right now, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like you and your family are doing such cool things. So I was just curious of your take on that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'd definitely rather work with my family just because it's cooler. It's just
Yeah.
cooler to say like, yeah, my family.
Well, damn, I feel like that pretty much catches me up. Like again, I was really just I just wanted to hear your story. Like you know, your sister sent it to me. I loved the music. I loved what you were doing, and I just wanted to hear like what was behind that. And it's so cool to hear, I don't know, just to hear you explain it and break that down. I appreciate that.
Oh, no problem.
Who knows where it goes from here, right? Like I think that you're about to make even more waves and get even more discovered. But it's a real honor to talk to you this early and just be like, damn, this is where it starts.
Yeah, for sure. I had a pleasure talking to you. This was great. It's honestly
Sweet.
really fun just talking about life.
Yeah, no, totally. I'm honored to be your first official podcast too. That's dope.